So Rocco Cilio back here again, of course, with America's #1 mortgage authority, Elysia, and the master coach. Here we are on part 3 already of the survey and lead generation using social media from what we have come to call the Mortgage Marketing Master app, just simply the easy button. Matter of fact, we should just rename it to that maybe, right? Change the whole branding up. But great to be back here with you, Elysia, to close out this section here. Again, part 3. If you haven't watched the other 2 parts, make sure you go back and review them, how to use the survey specifically to engage with realtors and potential prospects and clients. And we're going to just break it down a little bit further here. I'm going to turn it over to you, Elysia. We'll jump right in here.
Thanks, Rocco. Happy to be here. Appreciate you as well. So a lot of what we're hearing right now from loan officers is they just have deals that they can't actually close. And anybody always knows that one, you can better pre-qualify your prospects if you want to fix that, right? And that's also go fish in a different pond, right? If you're getting a lot of clients that are having trouble closing, just fish in a different pond. So that's one step. But the other step is just have more deals, right? That's just the nature behind sales. And then this is if they already completed a survey, right? Your client or a realtor, you're like, now what? What do I do? How do I use it? How do I leverage this? So we want to talk about that real quick today, and we'll get right into it.
Yeah. So let's play that out here a bit on some of this, right? So, hopefully we've encouraged you and pushed you enough out of the nest where you're like, I'm going to try this, right? I'm going to send out a couple of surveys, and then all of a sudden, oh no, now what? Somebody actually filled it out. What am I supposed to do from there? We'll show once again, we'll bring it up here and we'll show people what they should do next. But remember, and I'll keep reemphasizing this over and over again, in sales, you are doing one of 3 things. You are either trying to build a relationship, reduce uncertainty for somebody to want to work with you, or move them to a call to action. And there's a lot of things that happen in each one of them. And if you skip down to one, if you try and move somebody to a call to action before you've reduced uncertainty, they're going to hit the eject button, and you're going to be out with them, right? So this is starting to get to a spot where it's doing 2 things. You're building a relationship with these surveys, but you are also reducing uncertainty, because just in the simple fact that you're showing that you care about them, the law of reciprocity, it comes through, and you're showing value. So, all right, what would you do, Elysia? So I filled out the survey that you sent me. Let's assume that I am a potential prospect down the road. How would you then move to engage me from there? And I'll bring the app up here while you're talking people through it.
So cool. So yeah, so if it's a client, that's a potential client. The great thing about this is, one, you can see how did they respond, right? So like I said before, I'm a big proponent of actually picking up the phone. But if you put this on social media and that's how they responded, then maybe you DM them, right? You're going to mirror whatever kind of communication they started with. If you sent this in an email, then you could send them an email back. But that you always want to mirror that communication and then start to build it. And then in this case, actually, if it's a potential client and they said, like, I'm interested, maybe they filled in, I'm interested in, looking in a couple of months. Okay, great. So what I would say is, hey, let's look at your credit score, make sure you're all set, and you won't have any surprises when you're ready to buy, because now's the best time to take care of that, right? So whatever you can do to help them plan ahead is how I would handle it. If they said, nah, 12 months, I'm interested. Okay, great. I would put them into one of the drip campaigns that goes out every 30 days. That's just full of great information and written, so it comes from a normal human's mouth and pattern of language, not a computer, not an auto.
Yeah, exactly. And the neat thing is that, so I'm just going to, the reality is that we need to be out there and we need to have a big list of contacts. What we're talking about is the vast majority of them. The buying window is not going to be open now for those people. And we need to be okay with that. And that's where we meet. The same way you have more deals to get more deals closed, is this, you have more prospects to create more opportunities for yourself, right? Remember,
the bottom line is it's 3% of people, 3% of anybody, if we're shopping for anything, need you right now. So the more the wider you can cast the net, the more often, the better you're going to be.
Right. So you need to do a lot of this connect, value, engage stuff before you can even move to a call to action here in these steps. but just remember that separate the two, because prospecting is asking for a commitment of time. Selling is asking for a commitment of resources. And when you start to get down into scheduling, that's the last part of prospecting. So let's assume that the person is like, well, you know what, geez, maybe, oh, and my wife chiming in, maybe there is a a time for like, yeah, we'll take a look at your credit score, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to even push it a step further and say, hey, you know what? If you're local, why don't we get together? Why don't we get together for Zoom? Even if you're not local to me, like, great, I'm going to do all that information, but I want you to know me. And so in the call to action step here in the sequence, you can send them out. If you have a Calendly link in your settings in the app, you can go in and put that booking link in there, and you can send a message to somebody right over to them that basically is saying, hey, I'd love to grab a meeting with you. You know, grab the link there, select the time that works best for you. Or we can actually, if you don't have a scheduler link, we give you another option where the message just says, tell us what your availability is. It's pre-written. It's like so simple, Elysia. It's like 10 words, but I can guarantee you if Elysia didn't write them, you'd fumble around with them more often than not, trying to figure out, oh, what exactly do I say? So the person is engaged with you. I might even say something, hey, based on how you responded to that survey, I've got some great information for you to discuss based on how you responded, right? So if I go back into contacts, and we'll show you once again where you find somebody responded, it shows up in the notes section, right? The answer, this is just a test person. We know this is a demo prospect. We looked at a mirror like 10 times already, but you can see if you want to know, the app is going to send you a push notify when they click on it. So I send it out to a prospect. The app's going to hit me and say, hey, your prospect just clicked on that survey that you sent them. And then when you fill it out, I can see their answers in here. And again, it's going to change my conversation and what I do next. But what great intel is this for me to set myself up? Maybe it is 12 months from now, Elysia. And if it's 12 months from now, I might say, okay, I'm going to put you into a campaign. And I could do that right here. We're going to do a whole training on that, but I can just take them and move them into a long-term, email campaign with, like you said, great messages and good language. I could also set a quick reminder to call them back in, 12 months from now if I wanted to do that and make it easy. Whole different training, right? I'm going to blow through some of that now. The point is that based on how they respond back to that survey, you need to know where to find the survey. And then you've got a couple different options on how to best communicate with them from a next step standpoint.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And real quick, I'll jump into the survey if you can pull that up while I'm chatting about it, the one for realtors, because this is a gold mine for you guys, right? Because some of these questions, right, you'll know right away whether they're happy with their current lender or not. How important is it for you to know that before you actually have a meeting with them? Because it will guide the way you handle things, right? So what's important in a lender? What if they checked all those and they said they weren't happy with their lender? What if they said they're not happy with their lender and they just want you to close their deals? Now you know how to call them, right? Hey, so-and-so other realtor, I noticed that you filled out the survey, and I'd love to send you over some of our customer surveys that are done by realtors as well as clients, where they talked about how we always close on time or early. Would that information be helpful to you? Yes, it's redundant, right? You're asking them a question that you already know the answer to, right? But by them saying it and reiterating it, again, they have that information and you're building a relationship. It's so important. Like, this is just, when you have this information, you already have the game plan for the entire phone conversation to go ahead and get the in-person meeting that will get you the business, because you know what their problems are. You know what they want.
Your prospecting and sales activities will explode by the number of operations you can perform without having to think about it. And this is the shortcut to the shortcut, right? So that's what we brought to you here. There's 3 parts. I mean, we got plenty more trainings that we're going to be knocking out for you, so you can understand this easy button inside and out. But this is just one piece, right? It's just one component as a survey, but it's a lead magnet and a way for you to really get yourself out there. And my challenge is, if you're watching this, get 5 of them filled out today, right? Make that your goal. And by the way, that doesn't mean send out 5, because there's not everybody that you send it to or ask to send it to is going to respond. So make it your commitment to get 5 surveys filled out today. If you're watching this, doesn't matter what day of the week it is, you can get it done. Right. So as always, Elysia, fantastic. And we are going to be back again with another training. So keep watching, everybody. As always, it's been great.
Thanks, Rocco. Cheers.